Hi everyone, Stuart here. Thank you for joining me and welcome to class. Let's find a comfortable standing position and we'll begin our practice with some mobilisations. Here we begin with neck rolls. It's important that we use these opening moments to tune into how our body feels today. From this point on, let's move appropriately, making sure that we feel the sensation of stretch, but that we are aware that what we are practicing is nourishing for our bodies today. Now let's focus on the shoulders, and here tune into the shoulder blade movement. When the shoulder blades are meant to come together, actively engage and squeeze the muscles between them. And as the shoulders come forwards, actively separate the shoulder blades so you can feel the stretch of the muscles between them. Let's include movements into the arms too, bending your elbows and extending your arms while simultaneously rotating the palms. And then now, some rotations of the wrists. When we put all these movements together, it helps lubricate the joints and allows the muscles to slide over one another more effectively. Let's continue our movements into the hips. Here also encouraging you to challenge your balance. The longer the foot is suspended in the air, the more challenge there will be to your balance and therefore potentially the more benefit. Next we come to our spinal rolls. Here let's make a distinction between this and forward folds. In these postures we're looking to consciously round the entire spine as we come forwards. Notice the shoulder blades here are separated, and then as you stand, tuck the tailbone under and extend the spine backwards. Let's move fluidly between these 2 points, which helps re-educate the spine into gaining its maximum range of motion safely. And now with that final spinal extension, let's move into our second spinal movement. This is side flexion. We extend hands overhead and then mirroring me, reach off to one side of your body. Again, we're going to use a fluidity to our movement here. So yes, we do use a little bit of momentum to help us, but that's going to mean that your muscles engage and just find that extra degree of stretch that we're looking for. Now for our final spinal movement, we want a rotation. Now it's important here that we bend the knees, strengthen the thighs, and as you twist from side to side, the twist is coming from the waist. Notice that when we look at my knees, they aren't twisting from side to side all that much. The more the knees move, the less you're using your core muscles and rotation muscles. Keep the knees still, engage the thighs to do so, twist from your torso. Next, one of the most important practices for us. These are walking squats, or we sometimes call it malasana in yoga. Here we're trying to avoid 2 things. Firstly, the heels lifting off the ground, and then secondly, as we come forwards, a collapsing of the spine, a rounding of the shoulders, as you can see here. When we practice these postures, what we're looking to do is to keep the heels rooted, toes turned outwardly, and then notice here that the back is straight. So here, another one of my favourite practices, something that enhances our balance, coordination, spatial awareness, stability, strength and flexibility. So here, if you anchor your right foot down, and notice that I've got a slight bend of the knee. The most important factor here is that we hinge from the hips, trying to keep the back straight. Now you might not make it all the way to the ground, and that isn't important. The important thing is that we can feel the stretch across the back of the right leg as we come down towards the ground, and then on the way up this region, plus our buttock plus the lower spine strengthens. Let's change sides and complete 5 repetitions with the left leg grounded. For our next practice, let's look to increase strength and mobility in our push movements. Essentially, we're going to look to do a press up. Importantly for us is the setup of the spine. So here you can see that I'm arching and rounding my lower spine. What we want to find is length in that lower back. So we tuck the bum under, we can feel the abdominal region engage, and with the back straight, we move forwards and then down, aiming for the chest to be either in between both hands or maybe even in front of the hands. Here, let's complete 5 repetitions. Now for one of our most important practices, strengthening the back so it can extend better. Hands by your side, slightly tucking under of the hips so we can create still length in the lower spine, and then using the muscles of your back, lift up and as high as you can. Here, let's complete 5 repetitions. Let's transition to our side plank exercises. Here, notice that I'm down on the elbow and forearm, but have the knees bent and the feet behind me. Pressing down into the forearm and the outside of the leg rooted to the mat, lift as high as you can. Here we are strengthening the muscles all along the side that is closest to the floor. Once again, let's complete 5 repetitions and then hold at the top here on that final repetition for a count of 5. And then let's transition to the other side. Once again, let's complete 5 repetitions, but on the final repetition, hold the body as high as you can and count to 5. Next we come to our single leg bridges. So laying down onto your back, tucking the tailbone under to create that length of the lower spine, heels rooted to the ground, and as you lift your hips into the air, also lift your left leg. Inhale to lower the bum to the ground, exhale to lift the bum as high as you can, and once again complete 5 repetitions. Now it's time to change sides. Left foot roots, right foot in the air, 5 repetitions before we break. Let's bring our practice to a close with our centering breath. So laying as you are, bring the hands down to the lower rib cage area, rest them in and around where you feel those bottom 2 or 3 ribs, and then firmly press in. With the lips sealed, inhale into your hands slowly for a count of 4, and then exhale out of your hands slowly for a count of 4. This breathing technique will bring you a sharpness of mind, greater clarity, but also a peaceful state. our final moments together, let go of the control. Just rest as you are, but also tune in. This is the best opportunity to recognise where you are going next. What other activities or practices can you engage with today that bring more life to your life, more aliveness and energy and focus and enjoyment to this incredible thing we call life? Set an intention for the day, then wriggle and roll, shake and stretch. Thank you for joining me. I will see you again soon.